Good afternoon! Hey, welcome everybody. Sunny Wednesday for you here in the beautiful Rose City. A very sunny Wednesday. Oh my gosh, but not nearly as hot as it must be in Houston. We had the Astros-Cardinals game on the TV here.
They are sweating.
In the gray Fanatics uniforms are doing no favors to the festively plump individual on first base for your Cardinals.
No.
It's a dark gray, right? It starts at his butt crack and goes all the way.
I didn't look. Is it Goldie over there?
No, he's on. I don't know who's on first base.
Goldie's a large man.
It's I don't know, whoever hits eighth for you just got on base.
Oh.
But he is not a small man. I don't know who it is, but it might be your catcher. Kind of maybe feels like it might be your catcher there. I just saw him and they popped up, but his jersey a couple shades darker than the rest of the Redbirds.
The Cardinals jerseys were one of the ones that got done the dirtiest by Fanatics.
Oh.
Not only do you get the see-through, they changed the script because their crappy process couldn't actually do the script right across the gap in the buttons.
Wait, that's okay.
Yeah.
We got problems.
Yeah.
Look, I'm sick of talking about the baseball
I think
uniforms.
that's going to be Pedro Pajes.
Yeah, look at how much darker his jersey is than the rest of his uniform.
Those shoulders are damn near black.
But his sleeves it looks like he's wearing like one of the old Pittsburgh Pirates cutoff jerseys, you know? His sleeves are light gray and then the rest of his body just
my man
dark
is
gray.
Sweating. I guarantee you he's talking to Altuve about this right now.
So
like,
good.
brother, I am twice your size.
Oh, man. I love it. I love it. God bless baseball players. You know, baseball is one of those sports where, like Micah Parsons said this week. Like he just said he could hit 200. The same guy who thinks he could average, 10 in an NBA game over an NBA season? Yeah. Micah Parsons, super delusional, which makes him great, by the way. As a football player, you got to be all professional athletes have a delusion about them.
The very funny
crazy
thing about Micah Parsons and how big he is. Did you see the picture side by side of him and Anthony Edwards?
No.
What's your opinion?
It's thick. It's meaty.
Is that right,
The
Russ?
AAA heat.
All right.
Damn, Rust hated that conversation so much he just went to commercial.
I didn't touch a thing.
It's the ghost of Micah Parsons.
Yeah, he wanted to know what your opinion was on
the fan poll question.
Yeah.
AAA heating and cooling fan poll question.
I
right?
didn't touch a damn thing, and the YouTube stream will confirm that.
Dude, I know that we are not on the clock often, but that was an aggressive move. I mean, 4 minutes in, just firing off the commercial.
We're gonna get back the 12 minutes we've lost already this week by jumping to commercial now. No,
okay.
But no, Edwards and Parsons side by side. Edwards is as big as Micah Parsons.
Yeah, he's a
That's
big dude.
That's when you like
He's a big dude.
because you see him on an NBA court, you kind of go, he's a big dude. Like you get it. But then you see him next to Micah Parsons, who's this freak pass rusher, and you kind of go, oh no, he's a very big,
very
dude.
big man, very big man. But Parsons thinks he could hit 200 and he could not.
He also thought he could take
could
on
not.
this sumo wrestler, and a 17-year-old sumo wrestler threw him around like a rag doll.
Well.
He went to Japan with C.J. Stroud. And
Yeah, they did that football camp where he laid out a kid.
Yeah, yes. And he also had a 17-year-old kid pick him up like a toy.
Yeah. But baseball players, they get zero credit for the athletes that they are. It is the hardest thing to do in any sport is to hit a baseball. And these dudes, like hitting 200, we're like, that guy's a bum.
Mm-hmm.
But you get, like, if you hit 3 out of 10, you're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Kind of crazy.
If you hit 2 out of 10, you're a bum.
Yeah.
And that's like
it's a thin line.
Exactly. And those guys are freaks, man. And just to see how quick their hands are, their hand-eye coordination, it's amazing. But then they look like our big king over there who just scored from second.
Yeah, I cannot believe, number one, they bunted him over. Number two, he
Yeah.
scored from second
Yeah.
on a bloop.
See? Big fella can move. That's why he's sweating so much. He's working hard out there. He's really working.
Getting the steps in.
Yeah. Yeah. And baseball players are just animals because they got so much time on their hands. They are the dirtiest of any. No, hockey is.
No,
Power ranking
baseball.
of dirtiest. Oh, hockey players
They're
are
filthy animals. Don't get me wrong.
and the hockey guys, their pads just smell like hell.
Oh well, yeah, because
I mean,
those guys you're.
and they don't get credit for being the athletes they are.
No, the hockey to me is the most insane sport. Like the hardest thing in sports to do is hit a baseball, but the combination of things done in hockey, like the whole, I don't know, being on ice while doing. Can you skate at all?
Can I skate?
Can you ice skate?
Like, I mean, I don't fall down, but no, I'm not a good ice
But I mean, like,
skater.
can you like fluidly skate? Not the thing special, but like not make it look
Yeah.
like it's not your first time.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, and I can go non-baby deer.
Okay, you can go non-baby deer, non-wall,
Yeah.
Like-
yeah.
doing circles.
Yes, I can
Okay.
do the circles.
Okay, so like I would,
I'm not an accomplished ice skater, by
I
any
would
means.
say that most people cannot do that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh. Well, call me above average then.
Yeah, you put me on ice skates. I look like the dude in There's Something About Mary who's faking being handicapped with the arm crutches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wobble knee.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I look like.
That's a very good descriptor. of
Yeah,
that.
that's
I know exactly what you're
very-
talking about.
Yeah.
Very.
That's me on skates.
down my lane.
Yeah.
What's weird is I can rollerblade forward, backwards, no problem.
Mhm.
The second the friction level changes and the ice gets involved, my brain goes and turns off, and it doesn't work.
Oh, really?
I've always, like, I was a lacrosse player. I always wanted to play hockey, but I can't skate. I've never been able to figure out why it just didn't flip.
Yeah. That didn't stop Benny the Jet Rodriguez from playing in Mighty Ducks 2.
There you go. Just
I
no
don't
bricks.
remember what his name was in Mighty Ducks 2, Mendoza maybe? But he couldn't stop.
Yeah.
You know, he could skate really fast, couldn't stop.
Did he play red on that line?
Mm.
Mendoza.
There you go.
I see what you
Okay.
did there.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Then they had also Kenny Wu, the figure skater.
Who could skate really well.
Yeah, skate really well. Just everything else.
Okay, can we talk about the premise of Mighty Ducks, the original one? And if that movie gets made now.
Oh, you mean the guy on
the-
community service?
The lawyer who gets the Disney movie that starts with the lawyer getting a Dewey.
Go work with a bunch of kids, you drunk.
And then he has his limo driver just park his limo on the ice. It was just, I watched Mighty Ducks with my kids like last year, and I was like, I don't remember that being the main premise of the movie, but here we go.
The one that keeps popping up for
He had to
me,
get there somehow.
the definitely wouldn't get made again is the Bugs Bunny cartoons.
Yeah, yeah.
Holy crap.
Well, and Tweety Bird, Tom and Jerry,
Mm-hmm.
like all those. But we all turned out fine.
Yeah. In fact, you go back and watch it, you're like, that's racist. It's funny, but that's racist.
Yeah, there was a whole lot of
Yeah,
blackface.
we
in
don't
those
have
old Looney
those.
Tunes, huh?
We don't have those ones anymore.
Oh no, the
We don't have
Native
those ones
American
anymore.
one was insane.
Yeah, well, yeah. Ever seen Peter Pan?
Yeah, I mean, holy crap, man.
Jeez. Yeah. Also, great point on the Vancouver Ford text line 503-864-6326. And he stoops the mom, his best player's mom.
Oh, that's right.
Disney film.
Go, Conway.
Well, but if we're being honest,
That's pretty accurate.
let's go back here. All right.
Dirty scumbag
Mighty
DUI
Ducks.
lawyer?
Mighty Ducks, mentor, coach, Stoops' mom. Rookie of the year, star pitcher, mentor, Stoops' mom. Little Big League, star first baseman, Stoops' mom. Like, do we see a theme here in our sports
I
movies?
just say there's a
Of
lot
the-
a
of the
lot of
early
a lot of
90s.
single moms produce good athlete kids.
It's just
That's
like,
the theme.
like they have what's called the Disney formula, right? Where if you notice, like Disney movies, you have the animals that can talk to a princess, but you also have one parent dead, out of the picture,
Mhm.
never there,
Yeah,
right?
Walt had mommy issues.
A Prince Charming comes in, sweeps her off his feet, right? That's the Disney formula. They took that and they're like, all right, we need to redo the Disney sports formula here. What do we do here?
Single
Stupid
mom?
moms. Single moms getting picked up by the star player. And we're off. And we had 3 movies
And
like
they even
that.
kind of went that way with Marvel with Aunt May. They went and made Aunt May hot in Spider-Man. They're like, hey, Marissa Tomei, you want to spice this up a little bit?
Yeah.
That was
which
good.
was a good one.
Look, it was a
You
good.
can go
Look,
ahead
it
and
was
do
a good
that.
one. It was a good. Every
Mm.
dude our age said that's great call.
Yeah, that's
Great,
Great,
casting.
great call, Marvel. Great call.
Picante.
Yeah. Whoa! Spider-Man's Aunt May is not this old lady.
What if she was not 75 and instead smoke show 40-year-old?
All right, I guess we're just gonna have to roll with it here.
Hop on in.
Okay. Oh man, the only thing was Tony Stark didn't stoop her.
Oh, true. But Happy did.
But,
That's
okay.
what?
See?
Yeah.
Happy,
Yeah,
Happy
Happy
came
did.
in.
Yeah.
That's why he was crying.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of Jon Favreau, I went to
Nail this.
I went to a bar in New York,
Mhm.
and his picture was there.
Oh.
And they're like, "Oh yeah, his dad and brother come in here all the time. They live like right down the street." I was like, "Huh, you don't say." Like it's just weird. Like he is one person where like I've never thought about where he came from.
Oh, yeah, right.
Like you're just
Yeah.
like, where is Jon Favreau from?
Because he's so money, baby.
Manhattan.
He's so money.
But he's money.
He's
and
so money.
When I was like, Soho. Okay, yep, I get it
yeah,
now.
I mean, you want to talk about a guy
get
who
it.
went from like nothing in Swingers to being uber rich? He's like the number 2 writer guy for like all
He's
of Marvel.
writer, director, producer. Like
Yeah.
he does all of it now.
Born in Flushing, New York, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, Queens.
Ah,
So
there
he's
you
he born in Queens, and yeah,
That dude is loaded now.
loaded.
That
Yeah.
God, imagine getting in on that gravy train in the beginnings.
Well, and picture that character from PCU and be like, yeah, this guy's
Yeah.
going to be like a Marvel
Dude,
director,
he's-
producer.
PCU is a fantastic movie.
Very underrated.
Ooh, also he's
fantastic
the, he's
movie.
the crazy linebacker in The Replacements.
Yeah, he is. He's PCU. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
It's a good,
y-
underrated flick. You got Jon Favreau. You got
It's-
David Spade.
Yep. You got Jon Favreau, David Spade. What is his name? Jeremy Piven.
Yes, Jeremy Piven.
Jeremy
Oh, God.
Piven
Before
is
he
in
was
it.
super hateable.
George Clinton and the Parliament Funkadelic
Yep.
are all in it.
And you had the what's her name? Is it Jessica Walters from Arrested
Yes.
Development?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep, she's like the dean of the school.
Yeah, great. It's a movie about a liberal arts university and a fraternity that is. It's basically like hacky sack Animal House.
Mm.
Is that a good way to describe it?
Yeah.
Hacky sack Animal House.
Well,
like,
and they call it PCU because they're making fun of the politically correct culture at a
Yeah.
small liberal arts school, and it's technically Port Chester University.
Mm.
yeah.
That's where they get the PCU from, but yeah.
Also, don't think they make that movie now.
I would
I don't-
imagine
I don't
not
believe
just
so.
on the premise.
I don't think they
So
make that movie now.
somewhere between Animal House and Old School.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, it's not as I don't know, traditional comedy as Old School is,
Oh, okay.
but it is in that vein. It is somewhere in the middle of those two movies for sure. PCU, great movie. Highly recommend. Actually, I won't highly recommend it now because I don't remember all of it, and somebody's gonna watch it and be like, "Can't believe you did that." But
Sorry, I haven't seen it for 17 years.
yeah, it's a good.
in
it's
the
a funny movie.
definitely wouldn't get made again today Olympics. The any of the Monty Python stuff,
Oh yeah,
just not there.
that was a different time.
Yep.
It was a different time.
Shout out John Cleese, still alive.
No, really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I believe Eric Idle too. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, Cleese is not doing great, but
You know what?
he's hanging on.
You know what guy I think
He was in something the other day that made me think of him. I was like, oh my god, he's still alive.
the guy that I'm so surprised still alive? Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, he's like 117.
He's got to be.
Cleese is 84.
Dude, Dick Van Dyke. The Dick Van Dyke Show was never in color.
No, 98 years old.
He's
Dick Van Dyke.
98.
Yeah.
He's 98 years old.
And he looks like the craziest crazy man you've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's
Oh yeah, with that old
And-
man white wispy beard.
He
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
does. He still like, well, I don't know. as of like 2 years ago, he was still like dancing and stuff. Like Dick Van Dyke, I don't know if he's ever gonna die.
Yeah, I mean, he's still like this is from a show just like a week ago.
He doesn't look horrible.
For 98, he looks incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think like the bar when you hit 98 is if you don't look horrible, you look amazing.
Right. Yeah.
Because 98, dude, goodness gracious, he's seen some stuff. So yeah, that's my can't believe he's alive still. Dick Van Dyke.
That's a good one.
Apparently,
98 years
he's
old.
spending his time now playing the ukulele.
I mean, why not?
Dude, I can play ukulele now.
I mean, honestly, it's kind of impressive when you think about like having actual dexterity in your damn near 100-year-old self.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
I look.
And ukulele is hard to play. People like guitar players will always say like
tiny.
It's small and buddy. Those ukulele players. Somebody brings out a ukulele. Yeah, you gotta know how to play the ukulele.
Yeah,
so
guitar players are like, it needs to be at least 3 times bigger than this.
Can't do this. All right.
It's a home for ants.
Well, you tried to break at 12:04.
Yeah,
sucker.
Yeah,
I say nay. In your face, bro.
That's how long it usually takes me to get you guys to break.
All right, we've got a lot that we need to get to. We got NFL, college football. We got a lot of NBA stuff as well, including who's the most underrated player in this NBA Finals. We have that to get to today. A part of college football that I have been banging the drum on, and I think it has come to a head with one piece of legislation that is out there right now about on the field and how we have politicians trying to get involved on what happens on the field of play and on the courts for college football and college basketball, and it needs to stop. But where we got to start this bad boy, a major injury could have even bigger ripple effects in the NBA draft. Next on The Fan. The NBA draft just a couple weeks away, or I guess it would be a few weeks away. Sorry, I know Russ was ready to pounce on that.
He
was
are
ready.
Right,
It's a few weeks away.
It's a few weeks
It is
away.
a few,
It's 21
yes.
days away.
It's not a couple of weeks away.
Correct.
It's a couple and then some.
A major injury has been announced at the European NBA Combine down there over in Italy. Nikola Topic, who is seen as a top 10 prospect in this draft. Some have him as high as, top 5. You've seen him as low as, I think the lowest I've seen Topic at is 12 in a mock draft. You would know. You have the Patreon grid that you put together
Indeed.
over the weekend. His range is, some people see him as bona fide top 5. Some have him slipping down to like 12-ish, but he is a top 10 prospect in this draft, and it was
at one point in time, there's plenty of people who were willing to put him 1.
It was revealed today that he has a. It's funny. They're calling it a partially torn ACL. He has a torn ACL.
The way we talk about injuries now and the downplay, no, his agent, we're going to be in the draft. He's going to be fine. It's an ACL. He's going to have full ACL reconstructive surgery. That's what's going to happen. Stop doing this.
Yeah.
We need more clarity with injuries, not less. The obfuscation crap like we saw with Philadelphia with the 76ers and Daryl Morey and Joel Embiid. Well, it's a procedure that may or may not be done around or near the flap of his meniscus. And it's like,
wait, he has a flap in his meniscus. That's a meniscus tear.
It's like, so he's having a meniscectomy. No, well, he's having the flap trimmed. So it's a meniscectomy. Okay, cool. Like, it's just the stuff that they end up going through over and over and over again with this stuff. It's like, look, man, Joel Embiid missed 3 years of basketball because of injuries. Like, we know. Like, the dude had 3 red flags coming into the draft that were so bad that people were like, I don't know if we can draft him. He still went 3rd because the talent was so overwhelming. But with Topic, like, this was out there 6 weeks ago.
Well, and it was always talked about as he's had a couple of knee sprains.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing serious. He's had a couple of knee sprains that he's had to work through. Well, a torn ACL is one that deters teams because then your rookie season is thrown out the window. And you're going to be taking whoever takes Nikola Topic at whatever range he's now going to be in. You're basically saying we're not going to have him for his rookie season. He has had knee injuries in the past. Now, have they been ACL tears? No, but this one is one of a few that he has had of knee injuries, and this is going to be a red flag. What will be very fascinating is how far he falls in this draft. And then with that variance that we talked about and that you have up on your Patreon of, if you look at all the mock drafts, the ranges of all of these other players, this could have been a hand grenade just thrown in the middle of the living room of the NBA draft.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, there's opportunity there for a team like the Spurs to be like, we've got 2 picks in the top 10.
Take a flyer.
We could take him on the 2nd pick at 8 because he's definitely going to be there now. He's 100% falling. He's got a torn ACL, likely going to miss the season. Maybe he comes back post All-Star break to start ramping up for next year, even though ACL recoveries now is like 6 months as opposed to what it was when we were younger, 12 to 18 months. It's significantly improved. It's still a
Science.
still a torn ACL. And sure, he could go full Adrian Peterson and come back in 4 months or whatever that absolute S show was. But he's 19, doesn't need to do that. Just chill. But that volatility in the top 10 is bound to get spicier now. There's been plenty of talk about promises that have been made in the NBA draft already. The back end of the first round, guys like Baylor Shireman, Tyler Kolek, Deron Holmes are all guys I have heard have had some version of not a guarantee, but maybe a promise, a near promise.
And then we have today the Atlanta Hawks saying, we're doing our due diligence on Donovan Clingan. They have the number 1 overall pick, and they said, no, we're going to do our due diligence on Clingan because why not? It's not just Sar and Ricochet.
They don't
now.
know. Like, this is not a shot at the Hawks. This is what I have heard from multiple executives in the league. The Hawks don't know what they're doing yet. They don't know what they're doing with Trae Young. They don't know what they're doing with DeJounte Murray. They don't know what they're doing with Clint Capella. Them getting the first overall pick was they were 10th in odds. Like this was not in their planning sphere. And in a offseason where already there was going to be so much disruption and turmoil with Trae Young and DeJounte Murray.
Pre-lottery, it was, hey, they're shipping Trae Young out, and they're going to try to see what they can get in return.
I mean, that's still, I think, the most
now you have
here's an interesting thing on Trae Young. The possible returns for Trae Young are probably less ambitious than what the Hawks would like, so they may end up keeping him and trading DeJounte Murray instead. Because this is the interesting thing, because even if the return for Young was better than it was for Murray, there's perception and ownerships and front offices. They don't like. Remember, they gave up Luka Doncic to get Trae Young. Think about that for a second. So if you're going to move on from Trae Young and you take less, yeesh, that's
brutal.
That's
dude.
tough. Even if it wasn't your decision originally, even if it's a new front office, a new group, and that kind of like. Everybody wants to talk about, well, it should be about basketball. No, there's a lot of ego involved in these kind of transactions. And because of that, it could do incredibly weird stuff throughout the draft. And what I've heard coming in here, as far as like latest draft intel, is that the Bulls are a team that are looking to move up. As weird as that sounds. They are looking to move up from 11 to that mid-range spot. I think they want to try to move up and get Klingon. Because Vucevic, look, I love Vooch. He's not a lot of tire left on those treads. A lot of treads left on that tire. And he wasn't really happy there. They need to reset there. They don't know what the hell they're doing with their guards. Lonzo Ball's talking about coming back, and he's got one leg longer than the other. It's just, I wish the guy well, but what the hell's going on? Patrick Williams can't stay healthy, nor can he stay consistent. So that's a weird little bubble of disruption, right? Now you've got Topic in there. Now you've got, and we can talk about this later, Tijon Saloon moving up the draft board. We're 3 weeks away from the draft, and there are already major spark point storylines that are coming up that are going to be massively disruptive.
And all of them affect Portland at 7 and 14.
Yes.
Because when you look at, all right, if Topic is a guard, right, and Blazers don't seem like they're in the market for a guard, but the volatility in every other range of player outside of Sarr and Rizache, right, is so high in this draft, you have zero idea what teams are going to be doing. And the fact that you're looking at Topic being that 3 through 5 kind of range guy in most mock drafts, it kind of just seems like that's where he's at. Boy, that really changes things directly in front of Portland and where they're going to be drafting at.
So does that allow them to trade back because there's more volatility because the other team wants to jump up for somebody else instead? Does that mean they need to capitalize a little bit sooner? We'll dive into all of the mocks later in the show because everybody's putting new ones out now as we get closer. But this is where I start during the Birdman hands. I get super excited. This is where it gets real weird and fun.
How far do you think he falls?
Still in the lottery, but back into the lottery.
14 to Portland? Hey!
I mean, we never had point guards with knee issues.
And he's tall.
Yeah.
He's tall. He's what, 6'6"?
He's 6'6".
Yeah.
So we've had shooting guards with knee issues. We've had centers with knee issues.
No.
Shoot for point guards with knee issues. No, I'm kidding. Everybody relax.
But maybe. All right. Well, again, Blazers have 2 highly touted prospects reportedly coming in Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, well, there should be a solo workout tomorrow, and I believe a solo workout on Friday. Both are lottery prospects.
All right. That's the latest. Nikola Topic has an ACL tear that affects everything moving forward. In the next couple days, we're going to start really finding out how teams are evaluating this and handling this situation. If you aren't a fan of the Justin Jefferson deal that he signed with Minnesota, could they have gotten a golden parachute they didn't take? Next on The Fan. First is Rust with SportsCenter.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a SportsCenter update on 1080 The Fan.
This update brought to you by Crunch Fitness. Memberships as low as $9.99 per month. Find your Crunch time in Portland, Vancouver, and online at crunch.com. First on the Fan, still 1 day away from Game 1 of the NBA Finals. The Celtics hosting the Mavericks. Kristaps Porzingis is expected to play after missing most of the playoffs with a calf strain. Boston are 6.5-point favorites. You can catch every NBA Finals game on 910 ESPN Portland. In the NFL, ESPN reporting cornerback Cameron Sutton plans to sign a one-year deal to return to the Steelers, where he spent the first 6 years of his career. He was released by the Lions earlier this offseason after a March arrest warrant for domestic battery. Sutton evaded law enforcement for more than 3 weeks before turning himself in. And on the diamond, the Mariners have won 8 of their last 9, Game 2 of 3 in Oakland against the A's this evening. Logan Gilbert starting for Seattle, Joey Estes for Oakland, 6:40 first pitch on Root Sports. The Mariners now with a 5.5-game lead over the Rangers in the AL West. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust at the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now, Window Nation brings you on-demand videos. Watch Window Nation's window into 1080 The Fan.
Getting quality employees.
All right, if you are not a fan of the Justin Jefferson mega deal, $35 million is what he's going to be averaging over his new 4-year deal. $140 million. $110 million guaranteed. We have a couple reports coming out today. The San Francisco 49ers hit up the Minnesota Vikings this offseason, according to Adam Schefter, and said, hey, you want to unload Justin Jefferson on us? Think about that. The position that San Francisco is in Minnesota, obviously, they said no, and they just gave all the money to Justin Jefferson. The San Francisco 49ers, where they're kind of in this limbo right now where are they going to trade Debo? Are they going to trade Brandon Ayuk? Are they going to give Ayuk the deal that he wants? And they could have said, all right, hey, we'll take Justin Jefferson and the problem of you guys maybe not wanting to pay the freight that it takes to have the number one paid wide receiver, number one non-quarterback in NFL history. And we'll take him off your hands for that year, and we'll give you Brandon Ayuk or maybe even Debo Samuel. We don't know the terms of which the San Francisco. But could you imagine that San Francisco offense if you put Justin Jefferson in it?
I love the balls of John Lynch here.
He really is. He's like Danny Ainge.
Where Morey too. Remember Morey was like, "Hey, let me LeBron James. You want to give him up?"
John Lynch. So we know that John Lynch had called about Tom Brady to New England and said, "Hey, Bill, Tom available?"
No, but Jimmy is.
But Jimmy Garoppolo is, and ended up getting them to a Super Bowl. Didn't win it, but got him there. You have this one where he'll just pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, you willing to make a deal? You want to see what's going on here?"
You don't know if you don't call.
No, and
which is why you always call.
You know what is absolutely insane? We've been talking about after Christian McCaffrey deal, where are they finding the money? The San Francisco 49ers, because of the extension to Christian McCaffrey, that actually opened up salary cap space.
It's wizardry.
They have the 7th most salary cap space of any team in the NFL right now.
So dumb.
Think about the teams that are directly behind them, right? Or in front of them. Okay, it goes New England has $44 million in cap space. The Commanders have 43. The Lions have 38.
How the hell did they do that?
Well, drafting really well, and then they've been signing guys to extensions, which
it's going to disappear next year.
Creates a lot of cap space for you. The Raiders are at 4.
Bad.
The Cardinals are at 5.
Bad.
The Jags are at 6, which
young.
are young and okay. You're not paying your quarterback yet. And then the San Francisco 49ers with
one of these is not like the other.
$32 million in salary cap space.
And it's not like they
now.
don't have. It's not like it's like this like massive drop from the very top to 7.
It goes $44 million from New England, and then you go down to $38 million from to Detroit at 3, and then $34 million. The Raiders have $34 million in cap space. The Niners have 32.
Yeah,
there's only $2 million difference there.
Which, when you look at their rosters, it's like, huh.
That is scouting, drafting, and it truly is. They've made a lot of really tough decisions, right? The Eric Armstead decision, having him go, DeForest Buckner a few years ago, allowing him in going to Indianapolis. Like, you make really tough decisions, but their Super Bowl window is still wide open, and they still have room to navigate right now if they want to bring in another big contract.
Which is insane. At some point, they have to like be bankrupt. Like there has to be like a 3-year window at the end of this where they are so cash poor to pay anyone.
Well, this is the beauty
with the Chiefs.
It's
too.
the beauty and the curse of the NFL, where you kick the can down the road long enough, you got to pay the piper eventually. And that is where, New England was at, and then they were absolutely horrid in paying Tom Brady a ton of money against the cap when Tom Brady's winning a Super Bowl in Tampa.
On another team.
But now they're sitting there a couple years later, all right, time to reset, rebuild, and they went from having no cap space to the most cap space in the NFL through 3 of the 4 last seasons in the NFL. It's I don't understand the NFL salary cap.
Because it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. There's fake money absolutely
it's like
everywhere.
Tax code for billionaires.
That is a great way to put it, and that's probably why they're so good at it. It's because billionaires know how to navigate
that.
It's
like, oh, I've seen this before. I just moved this over here and this over here, and Cayman's this. Oh, look at that. I didn't make any money this year.
The other team that reached out to Minnesota and got denied,
Hmm?
the Indianapolis Colts.
Ooh.
Yeah. The Colts reached out
Pittman Jefferson with the old big fella.
with Anthony Richardson back there.
Like
That was the other team that
that'd be fun.
Schefter's reporting reached out to
Look at
Minnesota and
look
said,
at
"Hey,
the big balls on the Colts.
you
All the Ballard's got some brass ones.
He does it. He does the same thing
Yeah.
too. I mean, he gave a call to Phillip Rivers and said, "Want to come quarterback?" I mean, but that's what you have to. You have to be aggressive in a lot of these moves and take the flyers. And a lot of times, like the Phillip Rivers thing, it doesn't work out for you.
But you go look. This is always been my philosophy. Go down swinging. If you're running a team, go down swinging. I hate that. That's what bothered me about the Olshey era with the Blazers so much.
The
Inability to put your balls on the table and go, I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna push in.
and that's all you want. That's all you. That's all
If it
you
fails,
want. As a
it
fan.
fails. Look, I don't know how the rest of the fan base is. Me personally, if you go in, like the Suns, they went too far.
But I also
the Brad Beal thing was too far.
and everybody knew that
yeah.
that was too far. He was a
But like
ridiculous
going
team.
in and getting Kevin Durant,
Yeah.
I was like, all right, okay, let's see. Like I wouldn't have necessarily gone down that path because you had the finals team that made sense already. But going in, I can always live with that level of failure.
And there are so many general managers, president of operations, regardless of sport, that are more into self-preservation
Keeping your job.
than anything else.
Yep.
And look, I think for normal people, we sit there and we look at it and you go, yeah, I think that's what a lot of people are doing, right? You try to make the shrewd moves that keep you safe, but in professional sports, you can't operate that way if you're going to be a championship caliber team or a team that wants to win. And the thing that was so infuriating about the Blazers under Neil O'Shea was he didn't want to take those big swings and big risks, except for with the guys that we knew it wasn't working with.
Yes.
Like giving contracts to guys that nobody else would give contracts to, and you're going, why?
Low risk.
Because they were good enough.
Mhm.
They were good enough, but never made those swings to be great. And if you look at any of the teams that have opened up those championship windows, the Boston Celtics are a great example of this.
The Dallas
Mavericks are a great example of this.
They have Kyrie Irving on their team, one of the most toxic personalities in the league over the last 4 years.
And the Celtics greenlighting several moves to just hard reset. And
They got rid of Marcus Smart, who was kind of their heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like that's a drastic move on more than just a basketball front.
But then you go out and you improve by getting Drew Holiday, right? You go out and you get Kristaps Porzingis,
Who has injury history.
and that's a risk. You're putting him on the table,
Yeah.
though. But the payoff is that you could be
Win the new
hoisting
title.
the NBA title.
Mhm.
The Kansas City Chiefs letting Tyreek Hill go and just saying, "Hey, good luck to you, man."
Taking a swing. And look, this is not knowing that Rashee Rice has some red flags and still drafting him.
There is a fine line between
that is a risk that you are taking, is that you're maybe pushing some of the character stuff to the side.
if he can play, he can play.
And so, but if you're trying to protect yourself, what do? You don't
doing that.
do that. And,
And
I'm
for
not
the
saying it's
Chiefs,
the right
that was
thing.
more of you've already won titles, so
You've got some
go
capital. Yeah.
Go ahead and,
But
and
again,
make those moves.
That's why you
No doubt.
are able to go do that, is because you are willing to risk that
and
capital.
hell, the trade up to go and get Patrick Mahomes and Alex Smith is coming off the best year of his career.
Yeah. Like, again, that's
Going and making those
taking-
moves and
taking
saying,
real risk.
no, we're gonna lay them on the table
Mhm.
and let the chips fall where they may. And I am glad that we have a little bit more of that here in Portland with Joe Cronin. Have we seen the massive swing? No, but you are seeing now there are risks being taken,
Mhm.
and the payoff could be huge.
And that's what this draft's going to be really interesting for.
And
is-
that's why you need to start seeing actually big swings from Portland,
Mhm.
because those are going to be the game changers. Right now, they're swinging for doubles. Let's see a dinger You mean drop your shoulder, close your eyes, swing as hard as you can. Let's see where the ball lands.
I'm okay with it.
All right. I found that two interesting teams popping up for Justin Jefferson that could have and that tells you everything you need to know about Minnesota's level of confidence in Justin Jefferson in their direction moving forward.
And I don't think it's a surprise at all that Ballard and Lynch were two GMs that did that.
No doubt about it.
Like at all.
No doubt about it. Speaking of Chris Ballard, we will have more on his quarterback, Anthony Richardson, coming up a little bit later in the show because I can't believe what he said. Good Lord. College football playoff, though, has announced their kick times for the first ever 12-team playoff. And boy, there are some conflicts going on. Uh-oh. If you're going to step to them, you better be ready for it. Danny and Dusty on the Fan. What wrestler came out to this music, Rust?
I'm sure somebody did it sometime.
I don't think WWE was paying for the rights to the Beatles.
It could be.
It is Ferris Bueller Day.
It is.
What? How old is Ferris Bueller's Day off?
Well, this is the,
no. This is the day.
This is the day on which he skipped school and
Yeah.
went out and had fun with the city of Chicago.
You hear
July 5th, 1985.
Did you hear?
Or, excuse me, June 5th.
Ferris was dying. Say Ferris.
You're not dying. You just can't think of anything better to do.
Same thing. Look, man, back then it was really easy to get bored, but it was also really easy to get away with stuff.
Sure was. Steal some cars. Let's go.
When you're bent over moaning and wailing, you lick your palms. I know it sounds
I feel
stupid.
like Jeff Rust, you lived by that. Like you actually used some of those things back in the day.
Well, the thing is, you got to remember that my mom was a nurse though too, so she could sniff out the BS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
An old Doc Rust.
Yeah.
He'd take a look at your tonsils.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm a dentist.
Yeah.
Open up there, Pally.
There's no white pockets back there. You're fine.
Go to school.
Go to school.
All right, it is Ferris Bueller Day. We have the kick times and dates for the college football playoff, 12-team playoff. It will start, the 12-team playoff, Friday, December 20th, a 5 o'clock Pacific time kick here on ESPN will be the very first day of the college football playoff. I hope to God they don't throw a West Coast team at that 5 o'clock start time on a Friday.
You don't think that's going to happen?
No, I don't, because I think that what they'll do is I do believe that they aren't dummies, and they're going to try to find fan bases that will actually be able to go to the games on time. And Friday, December 20th,
they're not from the Midwest or the South.
Oh my gosh. I know. People won't go to the games. Got to have full seats.
Yeah.
Which college football playoff first round game should have full seats. It'll start Friday, December 20th with one game, a standalone game. Then we have a triple header on Saturday with TNT having a doubleheader starting at 9 a.m. Good Lord. Again, hope you don't have a West Coast team in there.
Ugh.
9 a.m.
4 a.m. tailgating
on TNT, then a 1 p.m. TNT game on that Saturday, followed up by a 5 p.m. kick on ABC and ESPN. Okay, we learned about the TNT games a couple of weeks ago, and the reason for those games to be on TNT and not ESPN ABC is because the NFL is playing on that Saturday. Okay, they are playing on December 21st, where they have a doubleheader in their games that, if you want to watch the world of football flex their muscles, the NFL is saying, okay, college football playoff, you have those two games on TNT. We're going to throw the Texans at the Chiefs and the Steelers at Ravens on that Saturday.
The insane thing is, from December 19th to January 20th, you have 20 days of football.
Yeah, baby, let's go.
Between the NFL and college football. And then I'm not talking games, because on the 22nd, you've got 12 games. On the 29th, you've got 12 games. That's the NFL. On the 5th of January, you have 16 games. And then you have the 9th and 10th in January, the college football playoff semis. And then you have the super wild card round from the 11th, 12th, and 13th in January, then divisional round, and then national championship.
Well, and what's lost in all of that is this all kind of starts in December. There's still bowl games.
Yes.
So bowl games will be going on every single day. We are going to have football every
wall
single
to
day.
Wall from basically a week before Christmas until the middle of January.
The fire hose is fully inserted in my mouth here. We've been blowing and going.
That's right. We're going to be blowing and going. So those 4 first-round games, though, on campus, which that cranks it up a notch. And I hope they don't do what they did for the Pac-12 title game, what they will often do for the women's basketball when you have host sites. No, let the home field advantage actually be a home field advantage.
Cover everything up. And
if you're playing in Autzen Stadium, you better have coming home at the end of the first quarter. You better have shout in between the third and fourth quarter.
It's home.
Yeah, you better have Joker and Thief in the night on third down. It should be a home field advantage. Yeah. Don't give me a sanitary college football playoff. If you want to put the logo on the field, go ahead and do it. But don't just sit there and try to say, no, it's a neutral site. No, it's a home game. Yeah. You play for a home game, you get a damn home game.
It's not the Rose Bowl with UCLA not there.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's that's always bothered me when it's like, come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah. So,
and selfishly, you will be down there if that happens.
That will be, yeah, which will be great.
It'll be fun.
The quarterfinals of the college football playoff will be Tuesday, December 31st, and Wednesday, January 1st. I know people always get upset midweek, but those are holidays, so people are off. And the Rose Bowl does keep its 2:00 kick time, as history has always had it. Mm-hmm. It will be Wednesday, January 1st at 2:00. Our quarterfinal games are the Fiesta Bowl on Tuesday, the Peach, Rose, and Sugar Bowls on January 1st. The semifinals, Thursday, January 9th, and Friday, January 10th, are the Orange Bowl and the Cotton Bowl. And then you have Monday, January 20th, the College Football Playoff National Championship game. So get ready for that. And oh, by the way, January 20th is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And this year it's also Inauguration Day. So it is going to Monday, January, because election year, Monday, January 20th is going to be a lot going on.
Because of sports calendars this year, you got the NBA draft day 2 preempting the debate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Well, or is a debate preempting round 2 of the NBA
right?
draft?
And then Inauguration Day on College Football Day, huh?
Yep, there we go.
Bound to be some fireworks.
But this is
God.
Look, the college football playoff and the NFL's, they've played those Saturday games in December for a while now. I wonder if the NFL, who am I kidding? They're not going to play nice and say, no, we're going to let you have a day. Going head to head with the NFL in the games that the NFL is putting out there on that Saturday. I mean, we're talking Texans, Chiefs, CJ Stroud versus Patrick Mahomes. Okay, 2 division winners from a year ago, 2 playoff teams, and then one of the great rivalries in the NFL, the Steelers and the Ravens. Those are the Saturday games that college football is going to be going up against. It's not even going to be a competition.
The NFL, they're the O'Doyles.
The Doyle rules. And they're going to say, our regular season game is going to mop the floor with your first-round playoff game. And it will. I mean, it will, and we all kind of got to get used to that one there. You know? The fact that NFL is king. It is. They're coming for everybody.
Look, man, there's a Godzilla and there's a King Kong. It is what it is. 2 big monsters, but there's only one king monster.
And at least they're making sure it's premier matchups.
Yes.
On that day.
Yes. And if you ever thought that run that you're talking about of just football, the NFL's already coming for NBA on Christmas Day. And everybody that says basketball doesn't start till, after Christmas Day, that's going to get pushed back even more because it's football every single day of the week for a month and a half straight.
Just football. The NBA's over here just like, come on, man.
Come on,
Our
guys.
season just started.
When the NBA Finals get ready tomorrow, we're only one day away.
Ooh.
Who is the most underrated player in the NBA Finals? One guy thinks it's him. Next on The Fan.
Did you
Danny and Dusty with you on this Wednesday afternoon, or on Wednesday. Thanks for being a part of our day, letting us be a part of yours. You can be a part of our Fan Golf Classic. Autotown GMC presents the 10th annual Fan Golf Classic out at Langdon Farms. Afternoon round sold out. Morning round, single digits in spots available for the Fan Golf Classic. So if you're thinking about playing, sign up fast. Come join us. Thursday, July 11th. Matt's Barbecue is on board for their award-winning food. You have Victorico's Mexican food with the breakfast burritos for that morning round. So little something to, wet your beak on the morning round there. You get the Victorico's breakfast burritos. Michelob Ultra driving range will be out there where you can warm up on. And also, all of our shows are going to be broadcasting live at the golf course. And we're going to be circulating through that par 3 6th hole brought to you by Doers, where we will give you some tips. Maybe take a shot, a golf shot, or another kind of shot. I don't know.
Shots.
Everybody, sign your foursome up now at 1080thefan.com before it sells out. It's brought to you by Autotown GMC. All right, NBA Finals get going tomorrow. And who is the most underrated player in this NBA Finals? That question popped into my head after I saw this snippet from Jaylen Brown on the All In Celtics series. They have a little internet series there, the All In. This interview, boy, I had some, it put my brain into a pretzel.
Various reasons, I feel like I don't get the credit or respect that I have earned. And I'm at the point in my life where I don't give I might never get it, and I'm okay with that. I am who I am. I do what I do, and I believe in what I believe in. So the ones who are with me, let's rock and roll, and the ones who aren't, can kiss my ass, pretty much.
Which is interesting. Dusty, real quickly, on the screen, I've got the top NBA salaries.
Oh, I know. This is why it put me into a pretzel here.
Real quick, who's number one right now?
Jaylen Brown signed the most lucrative deal in NBA history.
That's what the money's for. Shut up.
Also, he was the Eastern Conference Finals most valuable player.
Not even supposed to be here. Just a kid from Akron.
Yeah, just look. The manufactured chip stuff is real. 100%. I feel slighted. I don't get my respect. No. Here's what happened, brother. You went to the NBA Finals and you embarrassed yourself. And you and your teammate have done this multiple times. You came back the next year and you embarrassed yourself against the Miami Heat. And so all of the things that have been given to you already, all NBA slots, the largest contract in the history of the league, all the prestige that comes with it, has been pulled back ever so slightly because you've fallen on your face for the last 2 years. You're not getting respect. You're just getting the public backlash of falling short of all of the other expectations that were heaped upon you that came with the money and the other accolades that you already got.
Yeah, I don't think now. I don't think that,
and I love Jaylen Brown.
I don't think that Jaylen Brown is underrated because he has been all NBA. He is the highest paid player in the league. Obviously, he is rated appropriately.
And he's often talked about the best player on that team.
Is the difference between underrated and disrespected valid, though?
No.
With him.
Because
with him in particular.
Yes.
With him in particular. Not Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Who is the one that ends up getting blamed?
Jason Tatum does.
Okay. It stops there. Who is the one that takes the blame? He is CJ McCollum, if you're going full Portland. Dame got the blame. Dame. CJ had a Teflon shield around him.
CJ played the exact card over and over and over again.
It's look, different levels, NBA Finals versus not, but it's very similar. There's a Teflon shield in front of you. The interesting thing is you can make the case that Jaylen Brown is more important than Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Like in those closing moments, like you can make that case. I don't think it's a perfect one, but I think you can make it. But also, like, this feels very fake and manufactured.
Well, I mean, I think he ended it. You can kiss his ass then. That's what he said at the end of it.
The interesting thing about this is he wants this. Then this is not unusual. He's what, 26, 27?
Yeah, they're all pretty young.
But he's in the. This is peak arrogance.
Yeah.
This is when your brain and your body are at their highest, and you will never physically be better than that. Like that's look, man, that's LeBron in Miami. Not 1, not 2, not 3. I'm gonna get mine. That period is when you get tongue out Michael Jordan.
Yeah. And I think that in this conversation, as I was thinking about it, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, properly rated in this series. We know that. I also think that the conversation around Derek White has changed so dramatically that he is properly rated heading into this series as one of the guys who, if Boston is going to win, the importance of Derek White and his impact has got to be felt. I think the most underrated player in this series as we get ready for game 1 tomorrow is Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday, in my mind, is the guy that if Boston, his importance to Boston winning this series, especially on the defensive end where he's going to have to carry the load of guarding Kyrie Irving for a majority of the game, if not the entirety of the game, because of the fact that they can't go to Peyton Pritchard. Maybe they can slide Derek White over onto Kyrie for spurts to kind of maybe give Drew a little bit of a rest. The importance of Drew Holiday cannot be undervalued because what was the problem with them in the NBA Finals? What was the problem with them last year? They couldn't have a guy who could dribble the basketball. And so Drew Holiday is the guy who he has got to be the biggest pivot point of a difference between where Boston was and where they are moving forward. Because Marcus Smart was a hell of a defender. Drew Holiday, a hell of a defender. But Marcus Smart was a turnover machine.
And you couldn't rely on him offensively. And it was adventures in Marcus Smart on offense. You didn't know what you were going to get. Look, Drew Holiday's offensive proclivities aren't the highest reaching in NBA history, but it's certainly a bar above Marcus Smart, clearly. And he's a better defender. But there's the heartbeat aspect of that and like the rah-rah stuff and maybe that was part of the problem was that his level of leadership wasn't what they needed.
Well, because he would crater into the side of the mountain.
Yeah, he'd go unhinged.
Mentally between the ears, it would just be like, whoa, boy. And nobody would get it back on the rails for him. Drew Holiday is a calming force. He can dribble. He is a very good defender.
He's a champion.
He's been there before. I think Drew Holiday is the most underrated player heading into this NBA Finals.
I think it pretty easily, yes.
And then I would go in Dallas. I think it's PJ Washington.
That's exactly where I was going to go.
Nobody's talking about PJ Washington. They're talking about Gafford and Lively. They're talking about Kyrie and Luka. Nobody's talking about PJ Washington. Nobody should be talking about Derrick Jones Jr., but nobody's talking about PJ Washington. And that, to me, is a guy that his impact is going to be tremendous.
Yeah, I mean, basically won them 2 games against the Thunder.
And the matchup that he poses, I mean, if you have Jason Tatum guarding Luka Doncic.
Have you heard some of the stuff that's come out as far as like the cross matches?
I saw this.
It's insane. Like they're gonna try to put. Okay, Jason Tatum is like damn near 6'10". Tatum's huge. I don't think we talk about that enough. Like because he's got this weird V-shaped torso and people think he's kind of skinny. It's like no, Tatum's a truck and he's like 6'10". He's massive. But they're talking about putting Tatum on Gafford or Lively so that they can pre-switch screens.
It's wild.
And then they're talking about putting Gafford or Lively on Drew because Drew's not going to guy who's going to really take him off the bounce because as we talked about, it's not a ton of rim pressure from the Celtics team.
And they have a problem with who is going to guard Drew Holiday.
And it's like how are the transition mismatches and opportunities and like ways they're going to go about stuff. It's pre-switching and not, and then.
Yeah, think about that. You go down to one end of the floor and you have Jason Tatum guarding Daniel Gafford. You run back down and Boston gets a rebound. And Gafford then has to move to Drew Holiday, the point guard.
Who's going to probably go fly down to the corner.
And then Who's guarding Jason Tatum?
Mm-hmm.
Who guards Jason Tatum?
Probably PJ
Washington.
Yeah.
And so you have this. It'll be like It's like the chair game, musical chairs.
Mm-hmm.
As you're running down the floor, it is going to be a complete Thunderdome. It's going to look like little kids basketball, where everybody's just crisscrossing all over the floor, not knowing who to guard.
Have you seen what they do now for the little kids? The wristbands?
Yeah.
They put this colored wristbands for who you're supposed to guard. That way you don't forget.
I think we're going to be there.
Find the color. Like, you're going to have like the Livestrong wristbands on guys. Like, not over there. But yeah, these cross matches are going to be so wonky. And I'm just like, are we jumping the shark before the series already starts? Like, or should we just like go back to like, maybe let's play this straight up for the first game and then see what happens?
That's what I was just thinking. That we're going to come out game one. It's going to be status
just
quo.
Vanilla.
One's guarding ones,
Yeah.
two's guarding twos, three's guarding threes.
Or like, let's see where things actually live before we try to like outthink the room.
No, Joe Mazzulla's watching the town right now going, I got the
Buddy,
plan.
he already had his press
I got the
conference.
plan.
He said something along the lines of the journey doesn't stop as long as you're alive. Like, talking about the process of the NBA Finals, and it's like, okay, dude. Okay. Like, can you not be bleeping weird for 5 seconds?
No. But
he's a weird dude.
He's got his team though.
And not weird in like the Phil Jackson like Zen sense. Like, it's just awkward and cringy.
Yeah.
That's what I get from him.
Yeah. All right.
Which is such a strange thing in an NBA locker room. But then again, Tatum, Brown, they're, the same.
All right. Hey, let's circle back to the NBA draft. We talk about Nikola Topic and his partially torn ACL that will require surgery. We have another mock, and yet another new pair of Blazers projected at 7 and 14. This time from Kevin O'Connor from The Ringer. Next on The Fan. All right, we got a couple of new mock drafts that have come out, and we're going to be trickling out. Trickulating? I don't think that's a word. Let's go to the board.
How about trickling?
Yeah, I got that.
Dick
I
trickling?
corrected it. I corrected it. Talk for a living. More mock drafts are going to be trickling out, and this one comes from Kevin O'Connor, The Ringer. And he has got his mock with the Portland Trailblazers landing 2 players at 7 and 14. And one of them is a familiar name. Another one is a new name that we have not seen. Remember when the first 3 mock drafts initially came out, there were 6 different players
Ding, 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 ding,
to
ding.
the 6 potential positions that the Blazers would draft. That tells you just how crazy it is. And I urge you, go check out Danny's Patreon where you've broke down kind of the draft slotting of where all the mock drafts are putting all the different players. It is crazy this year. It's
I'm actually going to
wildly
do
different.
another one because I was waiting for this week for the new mocks to come out because we have the Ringer's new mock, ESPN's mock came out on Friday, and then the Athletics as well. Sam Vecini just released his this morning. But at 7, you got Tejon Saloon, who is a guy that Kristen Peak of Yahoo Sports has going 5th to Detroit. Now remember, Detroit fired their president,
Yes,
or their
they did.
GM, and they brought in a president now from New Orleans, Trajan Langdon, and it was long held that Manas Buzelis was a guy that they liked in Detroit, but with Trajan coming in, does that throw a little bit of a wrench in the process? Could they go a different way, and instead of going with Buzelis at 5, they go with Saloon at 5, so that changes up that slotting.
Yeah.
Saloon has gone from basically like 18 to 22 range 3 months ago to top 8.
And O'Connor has Detroit going, Reed Shepard, the guard out of Kentucky. They need shooters in the worst way possible.
With Buzelis going 4th to the Spurs. So you're starting to see a lot of fluidity, but there is a name that is starting to lock in the top 6 as well, is Stephon Castle, who Kevin has going 6th to the Hornets.
And his is a little bit different, too, because he has Donovan Clingan going 3rd overall to the Houston Rockets, which, talk about variance. We have seen mock drafts with Donovan Clingan going anywhere from 3 to 8.
7.
Yes,
He won't-
7. But
nobody-
8 was where he was, and then we're starting
Yeah.
to see guarantees have been thrown out to him.
Not necessarily a guarantee, but a floor in the sense of Zach Lowe said yesterday that the lowest Donovan Clingan will go is 7.
All right.
Because if he's on the board at 7, Portland just won't pass up the opportunity because he's consistently graded as a top 3 overall player in this draft.
Now, TJ Saloon is the Frenchman, 6'9". His frame is pretty freakish.
It's massive. He's
Like-
a freakishly huge kid.
And he
He's
is 19.
Not 19 yet.
And, well, he'll be 19 as a rookie, and he is going to be, like, you look at him and you're like, damn, what is his body going to look like when he is actually filled out?
24, 25. Like, go back and look at Jaylen Brown as a rookie, and then now look at him now. Go look at Kawhi Leonard. Go look at Jason Tatum. Like, go look at those guys, what an NBA weight room has done to them. This is a guy, he's listed on the Ringer 6'9", 203. They had the combine. We should be getting the updated measurements here anytime in Treviso, Italy. He's going to come in at 6'10", probably 225, 230 pounds.
Sheesh.
He's an absolute unit.
Okay. I would like him.
Look, if you're talking about physical upside swings, the scary thing is, as big as he is, he has room to grow. Like I heard a comp for him the other day. I wrote almost 4,000 words on him. My thoughts on him was that he's not this high level prospect. I think he's going to be a disruptive role player with an engine who just drives people nuts.
And if you add him to Kamara
Mhm.
and you add him to Scoot and what you hope he can turn into as a defensive nuisance on that end of the floor,
and
then
Aiden, who's a 7-foot, incredibly active, mobile defender who anchored a finals team.
Yeah, I'm talking more of like what the future will look like. And I don't know if DeAndre Ayton, like I don't know about that. I'm talking about young core guys. And then you see like guys like Ryan Rupert, and
Chris
we
Murray.
saw growth out of him. Chris Murray, and what we saw growth out of him. You're seeing this whole thing. Remember the Neil O'Shea timelines?
Yeah.
The timelines.
Yeah, no.
Well, we're starting to see, if you go that route, what timelines start looking like for the Portland Trailblazers, and guys that make sense fitting together working together and a style of play
Yes.
in Portland.
Aggressive, physical, athletic.
And I would love that because we saw at the post All-Star break, what was the big complaint? Referees were officiating the game differently, and the NBA was just like, no, this is the way it's going to be moving forward. And if that's the way it is moving forward,
Bigger, stronger, longer, man.
you better be getting more physical style of players, and that's kind of what that saloon pick at 7, if that does happen, would be for Portland. Here's the big wrench, though, is right after saloon is where O'Connor has Topic being drafted to San Antonio.
And this is obviously before the news, but people have a general understanding of what was going on. I think it caught some folks by surprise a little bit, but it wasn't exactly a shock on the torn ACL.
So they have him going at 8, and then former Oregon Duck, who transferred to Indiana, Kellel Ware going 9 to Memphis.
Here's a quick one.
Yeah.
He has Ware at 9. Vicini's mock has Ware at 32. So which is a massive switch because in my mocks ahead of this, the variance on Ware was actually very tight. So I bet you there's conflicting intel out there about how his workouts went and how his interviews went. Because I think there's probably here's the thing. There are multiple players right now and agents that are out there that are trying to put stuff out in the atmosphere about this guy having a promise, this guy having a bad workout, because they're both trying to get their clients up into higher positions or to the right teams.
Yeah.
Look, there are teams that don't want players going to certain situations, whether it's a player in front of them or here, case in point, like Scoot's people were not thrilled at the idea of coming to Portland with Damian Lillard here. Because if let's say Dame does stay.
Dame wasn't either.
But again, let's say Dame does stay. That's not a clear path. That doesn't allow Scoot to get going and on his way to getting a rookie max.
Yeah.
So you want to have the path cleared for you. And again, that's not like a shot at Scoot or his people or anything like that. They're looking out for his best interest, getting him the best possible position to launch his career. And because of that, you're seeing more variance than I've seen in this spot at all. And I want to talk about Saloon real quick. My comp for him was Mo Wagner. Like, that's not like a super high level player, but I heard Sam Vecini called him at the high end Aaron Gordon. Like, if you got a high end like Denver Nuggets version of Aaron Gordon, who's a junkyard dog, clean up stuff, but could score for you at the 7th pick in this draft, you just hit a home run.
Yeah.
Talking about kind of what you're going for.
All right, then they have Cody Williams at 10, going to Utah.
Which Utah will take him if he's there.
Devin Carter of Providence emerging at 11 to Chicago, and he's defensive menace type guy. Was he the Big East Player of the Year?
Yes.
Yeah. Zach Edey, 12 to Purdue or to Oklahoma City. Dalton Knecht, the Tennessee sharpshooter to Sacramento, and then Ron Holland. New name popping up for the Portland Trailblazers at 14.
I've heard Holland's name falling back, but it's hard for me to see him getting past Utah in a sense, but I think that they would prioritize Cody Williams over Holland.
And if you were following, far too early mock drafts heading into the last season of the NBA, Ron Holland was a 1 through 3 type guy, and now you're looking at 14 because he played for the G League Ignite. Didn't go as planned there, but he has the physical tools that people. And I saw him at the Les Schwab Invitational, and when he came here with Duncanville, his senior year of high school, he is a presence.
He's a motor,
but positionally, where are you going to put him? He's 6'8", listed at 6'8", 195 pounds,
which is he's 6'6" barefoot and pretty skinny.
$185.
We'll give him the $190.
Okay, we'll give him a $190.
Yeah.
But TJ Saloon and Ron Holland, that's where Kevin O'Connor's mocking Portland now.
And Sam Vecini has got Klingon 7 and McCain 14 to Portland.
Oh, Jerry McCain, who just came in for a workout yesterday.
And he mentions, hey, look, I know, tiny backcourt, but what if the Blazers, I don't know, moved Malcolm Brogdon and Anthony Simons?
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so there's that. So there you go. That's your kind of mock draft update. Tonight I will be compiling all of this stuff and crunching all of the numbers and pushing more out of the Patreon tonight.
Sheesh.
Ahead of workouts tomorrow.
where there's going to be big name coming in.
Solo workout tomorrow and solo workout on Friday.
Bum, bum, bum.
Whee! They will be lotto guys. All right, coming up next, it's our worst day on the web. And look, folks,
They're not going to bring a second rounder in for a solo workout.
Hey, man, somebody might try to push it. They might try to push it. Coming up with the worst day on the web. Sometimes you just got to leave the house, man, and you got to do it by yourself. But first, here's the Big Kahuna Sports Center update.
Hamburgers, the cornerstone of any nutritious breakfast.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, 1 day away still from Game 1 of the NBA Finals. The Celtics hosting the Mavericks. Kristaps Porzingis is expected to play after missing most of the playoffs with a calf strain. Boston are 6.5-point favorites. You can catch every NBA Finals game on 910 ESPN Portland. Possible Blazers draft target Nikola Topic has been diagnosed with a partially torn ACL. He suffered a knee injury in January and missed 4 months. He then returned in April, played in 3 games before re-injuring the same knee in the Adriatic League Finals. Topic is currently at the NBA Combine in Treviso, Italy, but will travel to the U.S. in the coming days where he'll be evaluated by NBA team doctors. Mariners have won 8 of their last 9. Game 2 of 3 in Oakland against the A's this evening. Logan Gilbert on the bump for Seattle. Joey Estes for Oakland. 6:40 first pitch on Root Sports. The Mariners with a 5.5 game lead over the Rangers in the AL West. And ESPN reporting cornerback Cameron Sutton plans to sign a 1-year deal to return to the Steelers, where he spent the first 6 years of his career. He was released by the Lions earlier this offseason after a March arrest warrant for domestic battery. Sutton evaded law enforcement for more than 3 weeks before turning himself in. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust at the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Tired of getting dinged by subscriptions? We won't send you a bill. Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan. It's time for today's worst day on the web. With Danny and Dusty on Odyssey and 1080 The Fan.
That sucks.
I refuse to believe this is real. I hope to God it's not real, but it appears it is. An Intelligence.com survey done in December of 2023 of 800 different employers surveyed employers and asked them during recent job interviews, basically, what have your candidates done or not done? And it starts out with stuff that's not exactly surprising, particularly for the Gen Zs of the world.
Yeah.
Because
all right, hit me with what this survey is going into job interviews.
Yeah, what do they struggle with, or what are they the problems that you run into? 53% of respondents said they struggle with eye contact.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
looking down at their phones all the time,
or just like
human
not
contact,
looking you in the eyes and having a conversation.
Yeah,
just feeling shady and shifty. Squirrely little kids. 50% have asked for unreasonable compensation.
Yeah, that sounds about right for a young, dumb college kid.
Yeah, I'm
coming
supposed to
out.
make $250,000 a year coming out of college, right? That's right. 47% said they dressed inappropriately, which that's not surprising.
I wonder what dressed inappropriately means. Does it mean like you're dressed to go to a club, or does it mean that like you were severely underdressed
I would
for
imagine
the interview?
The dressed inappropriately they're going with is probably the inability to discern whether they are for a job interview or they're down the street from us here. In the homeless camp.
Oh, I was like, aviation gin is down the street. Like, yeah, and that's the thing is that I think there is this struggle that the younger generation has with the idea that
being an adult,
you can't just wear a t-shirt in your jeans to a job interview or your place of work when you work in an office setting. We're not in an office setting. Are you kidding me? But even to work in radio, when I had my interview 15 years ago to work here, I wore a collared shirt and a jacket, and I walked in, and Isaac goes, "What the hell are you wearing?" And I was like, I'm coming in for an interview. You know, I was an intern here, a year ago. I'm just dressing like I'm going to a job interview. He's like, okay, whatever. And I was like, all right. Turned out didn't need to dress up for my minimum wage job, but you know what?
Hey, no, look, but
I did it. It was a job interview.
I've never gone to a job interview.
Yeah, you
without
get
a long sleeve shirt and slacks on.
Yeah,
not one.
You get the lay of the land, and then you look like a slob.
Yes,
right.
Look, I didn't come into my interview wearing Crocs.
Yes. All right. Okay.
Good Lord.
So we've got struggle with eye contact. Unreasonable compensation, dressed inappropriately.
27% said used inappropriate language.
That's a bold move to drop an F-bomb in your interview, but I could see that one happening. I mean,
I'm good. How the F you doing?
What's up with your compensation and stuff?
Well,
wait. It says here, right? What is this crap?
Yeah.
What do you mean? I only get 2 weeks?
So
off?
you gotta. You see, your transcripts are a little murky here. Yeah, well, my teacher was a real B. Like, what are you going with there? That's a bold move, but maybe that's just like he's so comfortable in the interview, or she's so comfortable in the interview, they're just dropping F-bombs with you.
The next one is 21% refused to turn on a camera during a virtual interview.
That is, again, that's the same thing as being dressed inappropriately. Like, you are in a job interview.
Tell me right now you don't want this job. Tell me right now you don't.
100%.
If I was a hiring manager and you're like, no, or my camera doesn't work.
Well, yeah, this is refusing to do it. It's like, no, it's a job interview. You find a damn camera that works, first of all. Because
I would honestly say, I don't have time for this, and I would hang up. Legitimately, I would, because you are not worth my time at that point. This one, I would
21% refused to turn on the camera.
19%, and where this goes, I wouldn't cancel the interview because I'd want to stage an intervention or call the cops. Brought a parent to their interview. 1 in 5 brought a parent to their interview. There's no way.
So are we talking like
There's
into
no
the actual interview or just like
I don't
the
I don't know.
location
I don't
of the-
care.
you know?
I don't
Here's
care.
the thing about that, though, Rust. Like, all right, so bringing a parent to the interview. This tells me that the parent tried to actually come into the interview. Because if they show up, like, if you need a ride I would give the wait in the car, ma. Right? Wait in the car or wait in the lobby.
Yeah.
No.
How would the okay, even with the overbearing parent, I'd be like, wait in the lobby, helicopter. Okay. This tells me because how would the person executing the interview know their parent was there unless they tried to come to the damn interview?
Like this is unhinged. Because
oh man, 20 that's 19%. As you said, 1 in 5, 20%. Holy smokes.
And you think about these kids.
Cut the cord.
This generation starts in 97, which means like these are kids that generationally, I have friends that are kids who have kids in that generation. And you know what they tell me? That I want to get my kid out of the house.
Yeah.
Like I want him out from under my roof.
Maybe those are the parents. 1 in 5 parents are like, there's no way this kid is ever getting a job, so I have to be there.
I failed so miserably as a parent.
Dang.
My kid is such a failure that I have to go in there and be like, look, I know he's dressed like a slob. I know he talks like an idiot, but he's actually a functional adult. Do you have many of those? No. He has shortcomings, but
yeah. Dude, this
is insane.
That is the most unhireable out of any of these things.
Out
of any of them.
Legitimately, I would point and laugh.
Yeah. 100% of that 19% did not get a job. Or brought a parent to their interview. Is that like their parent was actually hiring them? They were on like the hiring committee. They're on the hiring board there, and they're just like, yeah, you're not getting this job without mommy here anyway. So, all right. I guess
you're interviewing for the family business. You know?
Yeah, not gonna get it, Billy. We're gonna go with your brother.
It's like you 25 years ago applying for a job at the tavern.
I'd like to be a doctor, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's John C. Reilly from Step Brothers.
Yeah.
Get in on the family business. He's a doctor.
That's not how that works.
I went to Johns Hopkins. Johnny Hopkins. I smoke weed with Johnny Hopkins.
I know we make fun of every generation gets made fun of for how soft and wimpy and stupid they are, but boy, are they getting wimpy and stupid.
Yeah,
like this is insane.
This is a whole other level of dumb, and
this is full on.
I think it's good though that this is being like put out there in public.
Shamed?
as crazy as it like sounds to us being here. Obviously, 1 in 5 people think that that's an appropriate thing, and I'm here to tell you, it is not an appropriate thing to do. Do not go to a job interview with your child. If they do not have a means to get to that job interview, and that is why you're there, drop them off around the block. Don't even drive them up to the front doorstep and drop them off. Drop them off a block away so they can walk their ass there, so they look like a functioning adult. Even if they're not, and you don't believe that they are a functioning adult, still do it. Still do it.
Oh my God, there's a hiring manager here who said, is like, no, seriously, this has happened. I've interviewed with 3 of them. They asked for their parents, and we politely told them we prefer to have them interview alone. One lady said a wife came in with her husband and wanted to join.
No. And honestly, if I'm the hiring manager in that
God.
position,
Can I bring my whoopee?
I would tell in front of all 3 of them, I would tell them, we are not going to proceed with this interview. And I am here to tell you, your child will not get a job if you continue to do this. A helicopter parent is not what we are looking for in hiring an adult for our place of business.
Yeah. You're not doing your offspring any help here.
Have a good day. Good luck.
Oh,
you
God.
need it.
Vancouver Ford text line. Nephew called his dad because he couldn't find a suite in a 4-story building.
Now, I know some dumb people like that.
He didn't know that 401 means it's on the 4th floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that how that goes?
I know some dumb people like that. And you know what? They're actually smart in a lot of other ways, but they're just really dumb with stuff like that. I could see that happening.
Well, but usually those buildings will also have a directory on the wall, like in the lobby.
Yeah, they sure do. And you would think that you could navigate your way through that. But here we are. They just used like ways to get there, and they're like, it says I'm here. It says I'm here. I'm on the X right now. It says I've arrived, but I'm not
Yeah,
hired.
no, look on the directory. Do you see what floor we're on?
My God,
Yeah.
the dumb hurts.
Yeah.
The dumb hurts, and
Pain don't hurt.
it does. It does. I just cannot fathom bringing my parents to an interview. Hell, that would probably be detrimental to me.
Yeah. How about this one here? I hosted an interview with somebody who provided a list of tasks that they said they wouldn't do that was in the job description. And I would say, this is a list of reasons why you're not getting this job. And I would hand it right back to them. And that would be the interview.
That's
Look,
right.
my wife works in human resources, and there are people that have done this after getting the job and saying they don't want to do this, and this. This isn't what I signed up for. And you know what she does? Here's the job description that when you took the job, just kind of slides it across the table to them. Like, and if you see right here, and here, that's actually in the job title. So if you don't like it, you can quit.
Yeah.
She does it a lot nicer than I do.
Yeah. I mean, we had the restaurant industry. My parents have got some wild stories of people that, coming and being like, well, how many free beers do I get? It's like, well,
This is what you're asking at the interview.
yeah. Yeah, man. Those are the important things. Those are important things. Before or after work? Before, none. Goodbye.
Yeah. I still remember from my restaurant days, and this has nothing to do with interviewing, but we're sitting around during training, and one girl raises her hand. She goes, "Does Canadian bacon come from pigs from Canada?"
Yeah, they do. Yeah, yes, that is actually true. It's a true statement. They do come from Canada. Absolutely, they do. And look, here's a text that says woke liberal upbringing. That is the problem. I see this over all political spectrums. Helicopter parents, they just exist in our world.
Yeah, it's
the
dumb crosses all political lines.
Oh, buddy, it does. It does. Now, it manifests itself in different ways,
Certainly.
but it's still there. I mean, it is definitely still there.
All right, coming up next. Look, he's not bringing in his parents to interviews, but he's bringing a few extra pounds.
Hell yeah.
Danny and Dusty today, the Fan. Be more fitting music for a quarterback just going full thickness. Anthony Richardson came out and said he's put on a few pounds.
He said you got bigger this season. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, a little bit.
How much? Where are you at right now?
Like 250, 255.
If you scoot up closer, you don't have to bend down to it. 255 pounds?
Yep.
Is that on purpose because of the hits last year?
Nah, not really. Just me just being big.
Okay. What'd you weigh last year?
250.
Okay, so we're still in the ballpark.
Yeah.
That's Anthony Richardson on Pat McAfee. He's on the set, and you see Richardson's wearing some short shorts.
His legs are enormous.
Good Lord. He fills the chair. Like the chair is struggling to contain his size.
How do you do that?
He is just, the insane thing is he's as big as he is, he's still smaller than Cam Newton.
Mm-hmm.
Newton was 6'6", 265, 270.
Yeah.
And we will never see anybody like that at that position again, at that size and athleticism. But this is pretty damn close.
Well, yeah, he still runs a 4.4 or 40. Anthony Richardson does. He is an absolute unit. And like, here's the one thing, and I'm glad McAfee said is because of the injuries last year. He plays with reckless abandon.
Yes, he needs to take a little Lamar Jackson to his game.
I hope that he does not, like, in the way that he kind of answered that is like, no, he just carries this weight naturally,
yeah,
which
he's just
is
a
frightening.
massive dude.
And to think of him, if he has like this cloak of invincibility because he is that big, that's even worse for him because you just can't take those hits over and over again. We know that. But at that size, if he's 260, he is 10 pounds heavier than TJ Watt. And that's your quarterback.
I mean, he is look, coming into that draft last year, I was like, God, if he's there, I don't know if I want the Raiders to take him. Then as it got closer to the draft, I was like, you know what? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like you started like seeing his interviews and I'm like, all right, screw it. You know, kind of a why not thing.
Yeah.
And then he through the preseason just flashed some stuff where you just went, holy crap. There was some real rawness to him too. But you watched him play. And even though the numbers weren't great, before he got hurt, was it game 4?
Well, he got hurt 3 times in the first 4 games.
Yeah, but I mean, it's season ended in game 4.
Yeah.
But he put together drives that you just went, oh my God.
No, you saw that quality about him. And I hope that we do see him stay healthy and get through a season, because to watch a 255-pound quarterback is going to be a treat for all of us.
Who has an absolute howitzer.
And they're going to be the Colts are going to be good.
That's why Ballard is calling about Justin Jefferson. It's because he looks around that team and goes, this is a pretty damn good team.
AFC South, sneaky good this year.
I think that division is going to be one of the best divisions to watch this year.
Yeah, it'll be fun because it's not like you have truly elite teams. And look, Texans have got a really tough schedule, but the addition of Stephon Diggs is going to be pretty important to their receiving core as well. They're still not a truly elite team. You know, winning the division, going to the playoffs last year was awesome for Houston. They were a great story, and C.J. Stroud looks like he has of the brightest of futures ahead of him. But they are not elite. Jacksonville, not elite. Indy, not elite. Tennessee, going to be bad.
Going to be bad.
But that division as a whole going to be really fun to watch because you have 3 teams that are trying to all take the next step
Young
forward.
quarterback play.
And in the AFC North, where they're just going to beat the hell out of each other.
Good God, that division's insane.
For 17 weeks. You have the AFC West, where you have the top and then 3, with the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert trying to change the narrative of what the Chargers can be this season with a reworked receiving core. That's going to be where everybody's eyes are on with the Chargers. The AFC East has got the Bills, the Dolphins, and then
the Bills,
the Jets stay healthy? The Patriots are absolute doo-doo. it's really the AFC North is going to be riveting every single week.
Mhm.
The AFC South, I
It's gonna
think,
be
is
good
going to be
matchups.
fun as hell.
Yeah.
You're gonna see a competitive AFC South for 3 of the 4 teams.
Meanwhile, the NFC is going to go over here and derp it up some more.
You damn right.
Now, look, man, they love their derpy football.
Yeah.
Totally random. I
Uh-huh.
don't know if you saw this the other day. The NFC East has not had a consecutive division winner in 19 years.
The what?
NFC
NFC
East
NFC East
has not had a consecutive division winner in 19 years.
Yeah, that's wild.
It is rotated between
That's wild.
Washington, Dallas, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And it's like, huh.
Well, the Commanders maybe. Maybe it's their year then.
I mean, the Eagles are the ones that you pick out of this, but what if
No, it's been a rotating door. The
If a
the
quarterback
NFC
got-
Beast is the NFC least as well, where
because
nobody's
the quarterback
elite.
play just hasn't been there.
Yeah. Yeah.
There hasn't been a quarterback to Tom Brady it up for a while, or Mahomes it up for a while.
Dude, the
or,
NFC's quarterbacks, period, are you just kind of go, ugh.
Yeah.
Yikes. Not great
No.
quarterback play.
And all the young quarterbacks in the league really are all where?
The AFC.
It's like you'd think that they would age out eventually and get some better ones over there, but no. All right. Hour number 3 coming up. Really interesting topic. We were going to get to this one yesterday, but I wanted to make sure we actually had like a lot of time to go into this because it's a really interesting and unique thing. And Dusty has been hammering on this for at least a year. Uniform scheduling across college football. And while I hate the NCAA, Dusty may have a point that somebody needs to be in charge of this. Otherwise, the politicians will get involved. We'll get to that and more here in hour number 3 on Dating Dusty, Tanny the Fan. Hour number 3 on a Wednesday afternoon, right on time as we always are in the 2 o'clock hour. Right, Jeff Rust?
Yeah, perfect. 10 out of 10, no notes.
Whether you're listening on 10 a.m.
You know what?
You don't like it, you can suck it.
Whoa.
Wow. Watching along on youtube.com/1080am the fan or twitch.tv/1080am the fan. We appreciate you. We love you. And thank you for joining us on a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday afternoon in the lovely city of Portland, Oregon. It is quite nice outside.
It's great.
It's fantastic.
We're back to spring.
Yeah, it's summering.
Well, yeah. We got spring 6 right now.
Yeah, I'm mowing the lawn when I get home.
Oh, good for you.
Well, I wanted to, but then it rained and it, soaked it all up. All right, speaking of soaking all up, politicians soak up all of the air in the room, which is what you have happening in North Carolina right now. And it's absolutely insane. And you have been on this for quite a long time.
It's been a long time I've been on this one.
The uniform scheduling across college sports. And what I mean by that is not the actual uniforms and the Oregon Ducks having 2,700 of them, but having uniform scheduling across schools and conferences that makes sense, because here's what's happening right now in North Carolina. Ross Ellinger has a link to a WRAL.com article where North Carolina lawmakers want to require the state's 2 biggest and richest athletic programs, North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and NC State, to regularly play football and basketball games against other in-state public schools, which... Go ahead and name the other in-state North Carolina public schools off the top of your head.
East Carolina, like the non-Power 5 ones.
Sure.
So, Coastal Carolinas and South Carolina. So we got still at East Carolina.
A&T.
Sure. UNC Greenville.
What about Greensboro?
Sure, that one too. UNC Asheville.
All the basketball schools.
All the Vills.
Yeah,
we're going all the Vills. This is so stupid.
This is very reminiscent to what UCLA is kind of having to do with Cal.
The Calimony that they're having to play.
What a great name for that, right? By the way, the Calimony, $10 million a year. Yeesh.
But it's so they don't get left behind, right?
They've already been left behind.
So stupid. In the one fix that could just wipe all of this away and take all of this grandstanding for what we all know is very minor political gain that the politicians are looking for in trying to force North Carolina and North Carolina State to play the other public institutions. And what they're saying is that over a 3-year period, over a 6-year period, you have to play each one of the schools in football, a home and home, and in basketball, a home and home. And so it's like you have to have this revolving door to make sure that they get their chunk of money from the 2 power schools. The one thing that could stop all of this, and I hope that the sweeping changes that we're seeing with the potential dissolving of the NCAA and the consolidation of power in college football and in college basketball, is that we have a governing body that steps in and says, we're tearing up all of these contracts 10 years down the road. Your non-conference schedules are no longer valid. What we are going to do is on a year-to-year basis, we are going to make the schedule. We will tell you who you play. And hell, we are still going to throw a bone, because we're not just going to go all Power 4 schools every single week, all season long. We know that the funding for all of these smaller schools, it goes through getting those payday checks, whether it's an FCS school or a group of 5 school or now group of 6 school. What you need to do is you need those checks in order to sustain your athletic departments. And a governing body that says, all right, we're going to keep those games more regionalized, right? Mm-hmm. Because who the hell cares if like Southeast Missouri State comes out and plays in Eugene? Nobody cares. Nobody gives a rip. But they're like, hell, we got to find an FCS school, and Portland State's already snatched up by Washington State this year, Cal next year. Going through this. No, you have a governing body that goes, we're going to make this. We're going to make it as regional as we possibly can. And then our non-conference games between the Power 4 schools, what we will do is we will say, all right, Big Ten, you're playing the SEC this year. All right, ACC.
I still think we should do the drawing, like do it Champions League style.
Sure. ACC, you're paired up with the Big 12, and what we're going to do is we have a committee of people, or blind draw, and we say, this is how we're going to power rank each of the universities 1 through 16. At that point, we're just going to do our crossovers, and we are going to have compelling matchups across the board through the conferences. Gives us a measuring stick of what the conferences look like. And then when we go to the table for the college football playoff, we can say, all right, we paired up the top with the top. Sure, we're going to miss a few of them, but you have matchups that make sense. They're going to be ones that fans want to go to because, hell, if you're at the bottom of the SEC, go and play a bottom feeder from the Big Ten because then at least you get a chance to win a game. You know,
you might have a chance.
You might have, yeah. You're not going to go in Northwestern and going to go down to Alabama and just get their teeth kicked in. You're going to have matchups that matter, and it is mind-boggling that we have gotten to this point and cooler heads haven't prevailed and they haven't done this yet. It is so stupid.
I'm 100% with you in that vein of having somebody in charge of this. I genuinely think this would spice things up and it would keep the SEC from doing what they've done in the past, doing a blind draw. Sometimes in the Champions League in soccer, you get that draw and you have a great path to the Champions League final. Sometimes you get it. Or in the Olympics, you get your Olympic draw and you've got a great path to the Olympic gold medal. Sometimes it's going to be a tough road to hoe. But the excitement that comes along with that, and there's no more horse trading. There's no more, well, if we just do this and make this a little bit easier and do that. No. You let the football gods decide it. There's structure to it. Like you're not pulling from 140 teams. You've got whatever non-conference games. You've got a group of 25 teams that you draw from. But the difference between the number 1 ranked team in that and the 25th rated team in that could be miles.
And I think it would be a very easy thing to do. You take each conference has a representative that seeds their conference, and then all of the other ones seed everybody else's conference as well. And
then you take a ranked draw off of that.
And then you just go ahead, you mash them all together. You probably weight the person who's ranking their own conference because they have more knowledge of it. And then all of a sudden, that is how you have a formula for scheduling games uniformly across the board. Everybody plays 9 conference games, okay? Everybody has got 3 non-conference games. One of them is against an FCS. One of them is against a group of 5, if you want to go down that route. One of them is against a power conference
And the
opponent.
one that wants to try to, if you're out there trying to duck App State or North Dakota State or whatever, that's what I'm saying. You put them in that random draw, you might F around, and all of a sudden, you've got a non-conference game at the beginning of your season. You better have your rest together.
Yeah, I think it's so simple, yet apparently so difficult to figure out because now
it's relinquishing power.
You have politicians getting involved, and it is so dumb.
What is the thing I said? Anytime that there is a vacuum to be taken up of power, somebody will come in and try to take it. And politicians, they are the ones that are most fervent about this.
Now we just need to tell them to take a freaking hike and get out of college sports
entirely
as much as they can. Let college football run itself. Let basketball run itself. And look, somebody crunched the math on this, and I want to give them their proper due because I thought it was really interesting. They did the numbers on do the football programs and basketball programs actually pay for all of the other sports. And what is crazy to see is truly how much football and basketball means for every single one of these universities. Every single Big Ten school, with the exception of Rutgers and UCLA, 77% of the funding for all other sports outside of football and men's basketball at Rutgers comes from those 2 sports. For UCLA, it's only 58% because they're broke boys. Every school except for Auburn in the SEC has football and men's basketball pay for every other sport. And at Auburn, it is 94% of the other teams' athletic budgets are paid for by
which is kind of insane because Auburn
football
and basketball are both massive programs.
Yeah, I know. And they spend a lot of money. I think that's more what that says there. In the ACC, Stanford and Cal are the only two. Stanford because
Doesn't
one,
matter.
they have a sports endowment athletics endowment is through the roof, and it truly does not matter.
Doesn't matter.
That's 53%. Cal, we've gone through their financial
They're broke.
absolute mess that they're in, is at 46%. Louisville's at 98%. And then the Big 12 is a little bit different because of how many group of 5 schools have joined there. So you have Houston, Central Florida, Cincinnati that are all playing catch up. And then you have the broke Pac-12 schools, Arizona, Colorado, Arizona State, which are all hovering right around 50% of football and basketball pays for every other sport.
Yeah, when you move the decimal around, it's a problem.
Utah is at 96%.
That's not surprising.
If you're looking at what football and basketball mean to every other athletic program, it's invaluable. It pays for all of the other sports. That's why football and basketball need to break off, have their own governing body, because as we get to this point where there's going to be more money to be made, they need to maximize it because they're going to have to start paying the players too.
Running as a business.
Yep.
There you go. Speaking of money being made.
Ooh, and if you're wondering really quick, sorry.
Okay.
Or I know Oregon State and Washington State fans would want to know this. They did the numbers on those two schools as well. 81% of Oregon State's athletic budget comes from football and basketball.
Which means it's coming from football.
And then Washington State, 100% comes from football and basketball. So they are running all the other programs.
Jeez. So,
all right.
Speaking of running programs via money,
Ooh.
The NBA is close to having their TV deal locked down as more insight is coming out about the deal per the Wall Street Journal. We'll dive into that and more. Coming up here on Danny and Dusty, Danny the Fan. It's just fitting right now. The big show is the new NBA TV contract is coming to light, and it's even bigger than it was originally thought to be. At one point in time, expected to be, 7 to 9 year deals. Now going to be purportedly an 11-year, $76 billion deal, according to the Wall Street Journal.
That's not too shabby for the NBA.
That is a whole lot of cash. The big news out of this, TNT's out, which we've talked about before being a likely outcome. They are officially out. Now, the NBA hasn't confirmed the deal, but it's being reported by the Wall Street Journal. The deal's done. That means what you are now going to get, ladies and gentlemen, is a lame duck Charles Barkley.
Oh, buddy.
Let's
go.
This could be a fun ride. He's already... we didn't actually talk about this when it happened. Ernie Johnson got a bit perturbed with a reporter about getting Charles Barkley on record before this deal was basically being finalized, as TNT was kind of chasing a last bit of hope. Because
Chuck and Shaq missed a episode of a playoff episode
because they were doing last-second pitches.
Yeah.
Well, Chuck has made his feelings known about he's pretty pissed off that Turner and TNT didn't do what was necessary to get it. And that the likelihood is that this will be the end of the show because Ernie's not going to leave a network that has been so good to him for so long. But there may be some different iteration of this. What this does mean, though, is you could start projecting salary caps going forward. And, buddy, those cap rises are going to be huge.
Yeah, they're going to be really big because you're looking at, just on the television revenue alone, owners take half because they got a 50-50 revenue split.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at $3.5 billion a year is what you're going to be giving to the players. And you go across 30 teams, you're looking at
$300+ million a year.
Yeah, $300 million a year.
That's just from TV.
It's not bad.
Okay, think about.
Is that $300 million a year?
$3.5 billion divided by 30.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 100 billion. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Sorry.
I don't think it's 300.
No, it's about 110.
Yeah.
But yes, God, why the hell did I say 300? 100. I'm
not the math guy either.
I'm the math guy.
I was the numbers guy. I was like, I don't know if that's right.
Let me math right here for a second. That's just from TV.
Yeah.
Okay. And now there's also you're going to, this is where the 300 was coming from. The likelihood is that Las Vegas and Seattle are going to get announced, and you're probably going to see upwards of $300 million per team being spread out for franchise fees.
Really? That only $300 million? Because I thought it was going to be upwards of $500 million just to get for the expansion rights.
No. That's going to be the payment out to the other owners.
Yeah, I know. The expansion rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And that's
a lot of cash.
That's a big old, and then that's what I'm saying. That's the baseline expectation. There's a thought, as insane as it sounds, there is a thought that an ownership group could come out of nowhere and drive up the price, and all of a sudden an NBA franchise like a new one in Seattle gets valued at like $7 billion. That's what it costs. And then that's when you start talking about the $500 million. But now teams can kind of start projecting, and all of a sudden Jeremy Grant's deal goes from looking fine to totally okay.
Yeah, Blazers are going to need to spend like $100 million just to get to the salary cap floor at that point.
You're going to see, and this we've talked about this a little bit, you're going to see a $100 million NBA player before 2030.
But I also think that this is why the Supermax deal is not going to be doled out as often as we think, because of the pay disparity that there will be, because there will be a $100 million a year guy on a roster with a guy with also somebody making under $10 million.
Think about that. Think about that if you're like on a rookie scale deal like this year, the number one pick's $12 million a year. And you look over, and Victor Wembanyama's, let's say, in 7 years, when he's getting ready for his next big deal. And you look over at him, and he's making almost 10 times what you were making in a year.
Yep. 10 times. You want to talk about the hierarchy of a locker room being set by how much you get paid. And then that doesn't
it's
even
not like you mean it's not like you're talking about like a league minimum guy like making, $1.5 million and a guy's making 10. You're talking about a guy who was very well compensated, making 10 times more than you.
the guy who's actually on the floor often.
That's just nuts, man. That first $100 million salary is going to be crazy. I mean,
it's coming.
We already kind of have it with the Shohei deal, with the way it's being.
Yeah,
the money's being
deferred
moved around, the
payments
deferred
and all that
payments,
stuff.
all that.
And that's, I think, where the NBA is probably going to end up going is that
they're going to have to find some way to move money.
You're going to have deferred payments to guys way down the road.
It doesn't allow for it right now in the CBA,
and they should because you can have and look,
the escrow
getting
money,
getting your money up front. That's great.
Yeah.
Invest it. Let the juice kind of run for you.
But also Bobby Bodine, and it's not a terrible idea.
Well, no, and like say you get you have a massive deal, and you get Victor Wembanyama. Okay, say he signs a 5-year extension worth $500 million. Okay, what if you get a third of that in a deferred payment? And then you're looking at that and saying, I
can't go broke.
I can have the juice on a couple $100 million and then know that, I don't know, a couple $100 million more are going to be coming down the road to me after my career is over as well. My runaround money. That's what you call generational wealth, Draymond Green. Just don't get fined.
Bobby Bonilla Day is coming up.
Hey,
July 1st.
Happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
I thought it had 1 year left.
No, it doesn't.
It has 11
year
left.
2035.
I thought it was 2025.
It's good to be Bobby Bo.
Holy crap.
Yeah. And, Bobby Bonilla can thank Bernie Madoff for that.
So one person can thank Bernie Madoff.
Yeah, it is a pyramid scheme that just keeps on paying.
He's down there in hell just looking up at Bobby Bonilla Does Bobby Bonilla, look down and go, thanks, Burn?
He last played for the Mets in 99.
This one's for me. This one's for my homie.
36 years later, a contract is still paying.
That's awesome. Good for Bobby. Good for Bobby.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Nice little payday every year.
It's also insane when you think about it. When you hear a deal of an NBA player signs a 4-year, $36 million deal, you're like, it's okay. But when you hear $36 million is $1 million broken up over 36 years, you start going, wait, what?
That's a lot. We're going to do that with Ohtani. Ohtani's going to be getting that cash from the Dodgers forever.
Forever. But yeah, there you go. Your NBA TV deal. It is broken out to where NBC Universal is going to pay $2.5 billion a year. Amazon's going to pay 1.8, and then Disney, ESPN will pay 2.6 billion per year. Which, if you wanted to go scale, their previous deal with the NBA was an average of 1.5 billion. It's now up to 2.6. So we're talking about a 70% increase.
That's good for business.
That's a pretty good indicator that the NBA is doing just fine.
Yep.
And the fact that they were able to lock in an 11-year deal means you can start looking at the cap increases in probably 8 to 10% increments.
And your cable and streaming prices gonna go up.
Boy, are they. Yikes.
Behind that and the NFL's $100 and whatever billion deal that they just signed.
Do you want to hear a horrible baseball call?
Yeah, we can.
Do we have the James Madison one?
Oh, no, that's too old. We'll move
I
on.
thought that was from yesterday.
No. That was from the weekend.
Oh, well,
that was from the weekend. We got plenty of fun with audio that we can have next.
All right,
though.
Well, we'll have some fun with audio when we get back. First, here's Big Kahuna Sports and Update.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
This update brought to you by Crunch Fitness. Memberships as low as $9.99 per month. Find your Crunch time in Portland, Vancouver, and online at crunch.com. First on The Fan, 1 day away still from Game 1 of the NBA Finals. The Celtics hosting the Mavericks. Kristaps Porzingis expected to play after missing most of the playoffs with a calf strain. Boston are 6.5-point favorites. You can catch every NBA Finals game on 910 ESPN Portland. Possible Blazers draft target Nikola Topic has been diagnosed with a partially torn ACL. He suffered a knee injury in January and missed 4 months. He then returned in April and played in 3 games before re-injuring the same knee in the Adriatic League Finals. Topic is currently at the NBA Combine in Treviso, Italy, but will travel to the U.S. in the coming days, where he'll be evaluated by NBA team doctors. Mariners have won 8 of their last 9. Game 2 of 3 in Oakland against the A's this evening. Logan Gilbert on the bump for Seattle. Joey Estes for Oakland. 6:40 first pitch on Root Sports. The Mariners now hold a 5.5-game lead over the Rangers in the AL West. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust at the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The afternoon round of the 10th Annual Fan Golf Classic, presented by Autotown GMC, is sold out. And the morning round is filling up fast. Sign up now to play with 1080 The Fan.
Trying to make fun of some nerds. Nerds! Got it?
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Stereo, we both found it at the same time.
Got it.
I like it.
I got it.
Jeopardy! Home to the biggest of nerds.
It's very smart people go on Jeopardy.
There have been times when you ever get those moments when you're watching Jeopardy with a room of people and it's like categories that you are just nails in and you look like the smartest person on the face of the planet.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Danny. I don't watch Jeopardy in a room full of people.
No, you've never like been somewhere and just had it be on.
Nope.
No,
I can't say that has in my entire life. Never have I ever been in a place where they're like, group of people, we're gonna throw Jeopardy on.
No, it was on after like a sports game or something like that.
A sports ball game.
Sports ball game.
Yeah, no. Still, I'm still a no on that. That's never happened to me.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's
We're running with different crowds.
I guess. I mean, nobody changed the channel. That's kind of what it was.
Yeah.
But
I'll take chicken McNugget sauces for 200, please, Alex.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Not gonna lie.
It's-
If I'm in a group of, if I'm in a room with a group of people and Jeopardy comes on, we're not sticking around to see who's the smartest one. I'm saying change that damn channel or just not paying attention to it.
Wow. Besmirching Jeopardy?
No, just not with the group of people around.
I've
never played
I've
group
had it happen a couple
Jeopardy.
times where, one, I've been severely humbled. Like, I have no idea. I got that wrong. Horribly wrong. Good God that I get that wrong.
We've all been there.
Yeah. And then there's times I'm like, I could run the board right now.
Yeah, there's times where, maybe not a group full of people, but I'll get on a heater and impress my wife a little bit.
The American literature?
Doesn't get me very far, but because I probably rub it in like idiot.
What, you didn't know that?
You didn't know that?
Which is kind of what we had happen with all of the sports world.
Nothing makes me happier than when sports categories come on Jeopardy.
And you watch some of the smartest people in the world just fall all over themselves like this.
21st Century Sports 400.
In 2007, this National League squad became the first team with 10,000 losses. In 2008, they won the World Series behind Cole Hamels and Ryan Howard. Christina.
Who are the Chicago Cubs?
No, I'm sorry.
Idiot.
It's a good guess, but it's the Phillies.
Come on.
Ryan Howard, come on now.
Yeah, they gave you a softball
Two
with
players.
Ryan Howard and Cole Hamels.
Gave
like,
you a pitcher and a dominant MVP candidate.
Yeah, like if
Actually,
if they didn't give you the hint of the two players, that'd be a tough one, and she would probably be right with the Cubs.
Cubs
right?
is a good one because
That
it's
is a
100
good
years
one.
of losing, and you knew that the Cubs had won a World Series recently.
That's right.
So that was a decent guess, but also nerd.
Turns out they don't know college sports either.
A bit is Anywhere or Phoenix Gate. It opened on October 15th, 2018 to whisk college athletes to a new school.
Dude.
They call it the transfer portal.
They didn't even try. No, everybody, they just kind of looked around and like, what? What is this? They never heard of the transfer portal? Now, Jeopardy gives you the categories before you go on, right? Or is that a myth? Is that fact or fiction?
I believe they give you a handful of categories that may appear on the show.
I feel like they need to give folks the heads up on sports. But like if you were to hand somebody something like this category is 21st century sports, where do you start?
That's tough.
Where do you start?
I mean, the 2000s is relatively like decent.
Yeah.
Like,
but then also like the transfer portal one, they're giving you the hint, it's a door like Phoenix's gate. And it's like, oh, a portal, they're laying the groundwork for the transfer portal. And that means that you're not even keeping up on current times because
it's a
CNN,
political thing. Yeah.
Fox, they're all talking about the transfer portal. So I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt on this one. Now, this next one, his picture is on the screen.
Yeah, this one's tough.
His picture is on the screen.
It also just adds to it. I definitely chef kiss this one.
This is beauty because I think that there is a Oklahoma City Thunder fan that is on the Jeopardy questions crew here.
And here's the last clue in 21st Century Sports. With Oklahoma City, this master of the triple-double became the first back-to-back MVP of the NBA All-Star Game since the 1950s. Adriana.
Who is Durant?
Sorry, no. Who is his teammate Russell Westbrook.
Hell yeah for Adriana, though. At least giving us Kevin Durant played for the Thunder.
Yeah.
Right?
Not bad.
I'll give her a golf clap on that.
But also, it's a nice thumb in the eye of Westbrook.
Oh, dude. I was hoping that somebody said Russell Westbrook because it would be worth losing the money on that.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got it wrong.
Oh, we were looking for Westbrook, and it's like, that ain't it, boss.
No.
No. I petitioned.
But hilariously, it's like a Laker fan who's like, no, it's Westbrook.
It's Westbrook, and that's the final answer. And then Russell Westbrook comes out from behind the stage and he's like,
keep my family's name out of your mouth.
Put some respect on my name. Bah!
It is shot in L.A.
Yeah, it could have happened. Could have happened.
That's a shot that has a chance of going in.
Sports Jeopardy never fails. And think about that. There's what, like 6 questions on each category? So we just played half of them.
And they failed not miserably.
No,
Poorly.
5 in each category.
5 in each. So,
Yes.
okay.
So we just played 60% of them.
I want to know which ones they got right.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You know? It's like Celebrity Jeopardy on SNL where we're
Turd Ferguson.
We're going full on. His name is Tom Brady. Who is the quarter? His name is Tom Brady and played quarterback for the Patriots. Who is Jimmy Garoppolo? I feel like that is. I feel like that's something we probably got for the other 2. Faux show.
Yeah, no, I would like to bring back the that version of Jeopardy, the SNL version.
Sounds a doggy makes. Moo.
It's a sound your wife made, Trebek.
Suck it.
I'm rough, just like your mother likes it.
It's still that's got to be one of the best modern day skits that SNL's ever put out.
Yeah. The categories are S words. I'll take Schwartz.
Swords.
I'll take the penis mightier for 400, please, Alex.
That was the best part. Was the headline titles being put together,
or like anal bum cover?
What is it? Therapist? I'll take the rapist.
The rapist.
Oh, good Lord.
God.
And the thing is, because it's bigger than most hats.
Like, you had 2 distinct characters. Like, Norm Macdonald's clearly the bigger star, but the guy that did Connery.
Was
Ham.
Just,
Was it
Daryl Hammond.
Daryl Hammond.
God,
Daryl
he
Hammond.
was just crushing it
Yes.
the whole time. And it's like, you know how good you have to be up there when you're that sideways and you're more sideways than Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, right.
And then my favorite was name a color. It was like, this color is yellow. What is red?
The other one, I forget too what the question was, but like name a number between 3 and 5 or something, and somebody responded, "Thrieve."
They always found a way to get you.
Yeah,
They got you every time.
I've got to go back and watch that from beginning to end because it's just too good.
And Will Ferrell just be like, "You idiot." You are complete and utter embarrassment and imbecile.
They went full happy Billy Madison. Everything you just said here. Good God. All right. As we wrap up today's show coming up, it's an important day in Blazers history. We'll celebrate that as we put a nice little bow on this. Danny and Dusty, today on The Fan. Hard to know what's older.
Your mother,
Wayne-
Trebek.
Wayne Newton's version of Donka Shane or the Trailblazers championship. It's been a while. But today...
Oh, wow.
Well,
Actually, that's a great question.
It's a toss-up. It's a toss-up.
I'm going to go, Rust, look this up. I'm not looking. I'm going to go Wayne Newton's Donka Shane
I am
is
too.
older
Yes.
than...
I'm going to go...
Oh, you know that?
Yes.
To be
I'm
a
going
fact?
to go 67.
63.
Wow. You know that?
Just from me dumping it into the system
Yeah.
earlier. That was what it said on the YouTube video,
Okay.
1963. And he looked like
Dude,
he was
you
about
should have
12.
just said, yes, I knew that. And I would have been way more impressed.
Well, technically, I did know it
Like
from earlier.
That is one of the great parts of being a parent is like you will like just recently read something and then your kids will be like, how'd you know that? I just know stuff. What are you talking about?
The other great part is walking by them and stealing a couple of their French fries and going, "Dad tax."
Yep, that is great.
That is a great one.
My wife is she is so evil for this, and she has stopped doing it. But when I would have to watch a game on DVR, she would go up and look at the live play-by-play, and then be like, "Ooh,
Oh, no.
Oh, that is evil.
Oh.
and then she'd
And
be-
now you're like...
And then she'd be like, "You're really gonna like this," and I was just like, "Will you stop?" And it would be every single play, just pure evil.
Yeah, that's
But it's
evil, like
actually
the fruits of the devil.
a really solid move by her.
Mhm.
I mean, if she could give two rips about what's happening in that game,
But watching you stir...
oh man, she
Super
got
fun.
her entertainment.
There you go.
She got her entertainment too. And I'd just be like, "No, knock it off."
47 years ago, the
She'd be like,
Portland
"Incomplete."
Trailblazers got their bit of entertainment, as today marks the 47th anniversary of the Blazers winning their one and only title.
Yeah, and it sucks because of how close it is to the death of Bill Walton too. I mean, we just talked last week about the importance of Bill Walton, what he meant to that franchise, what he meant to the city during that time, and it kind of hits a little bit closer to home now.
Mm-hmm.
And I
And we
can't
talked
believe
about the other day about the idea of the Walton and Lucas statues.
Yep.
And who that was the foundation of that team.
Now, here's my question for you. Is this the furthest that the Blazers organization has felt from a championship competitively since 77?
No. Jailblazers. That Telfair era was disgusting. There was nothing.
But still, again, we go back to this. Consecutive losing seasons. They didn't even have this many consecutive losing seasons.
But
Like, didn't.
But it's also a different era as far as like how things are done.
Yeah, but they were able to get it back on.